everyone. Welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you're not to my channel. So today, as I told y'all in the previous video, we're doing our Get Ready With Me story time. So today is Good Friday. We are going to our church's Easter production, so I'm getting ready. I decided, let me start the process of getting ready now so I can show y'all and we could talk and whatnot. But it is fairly early, like we're not leaving home for another few hours, but because I'm still doing other things around the house, like laundry, my husband's downstairs with the kids, so they are doing their own thing. He's taking care of them and all that, and I'm still kind of doing laundry while I'm doing this, so I will be up and down. So as you can see, I got my wig cap on. I don't do a bald cap because I just use the ebony lace glue, which I left in the washer. I'm going to show you guys which one I'm using and show you the wig. So this is the one I'm using. This is the Wonder Lace spray, the vitamin E one. So because it says it preserves your edges, I've used this one before. That's why I got the small can. I've only used it a couple times and I like it so far because I was using the one in the red can. And if you can see, my hairline is shifting a little bit. So that's what's happening here. This is the wig I'm gonna wear today. She's a body wave, so obviously after I install and do all that fun stuff and curl it, I'll show y'all. But I'm gonna install it because I can't install it here at my vanity. I have to go to my washroom and install it. So I'm gonna install it and then I'm gonna come back and then we're gonna fully start getting ready. All right, I'll be back. So sorry guys, yes, wig's not on yet, but that's because I forgot that I had freshly washed this wig and I haven't tinted the lace yet. So I'm gonna tint the lace. I always put my band, my melting band, around my neck, so that's not, now I'm trying to fit it around after I have the wig on. None of that. So I've been seeing that the girlies saying that this Ruby Kisses cream foundation is good for tinting the lace, so I got this one in the color 16 because I'm a chocolate girl. So we're gonna try the little lighter color on the lace. Normally I would use my, where's she at? My Fenty. This is the $4.98 when they came out with this color, because I was the one, remember Fenty came out with a bunch of darker colors a little bit later. So I got that one, and it's not my actual complexion, it's darker. So that's what I was using to tint my lace. Or I would use what's it called, the spray, the tinting spray, the lace tinting spray. But I noticed that sometimes that one, it's not cooperating. So I went to the beauty supply yesterday and I said, let me try this. The girlie's been saying that this works, so yeah. Okay, so the real reason why y'all are here is to hear this story. I kind of wanted to try and put my wig on before I start telling my birth story, but seems like it's not gonna work. But we'll just start now, okay? Sorry girl. All right, so as you guys know, now we have 3. So at the time when we had just 2, my husband and I initially said that we wanted, we came to the agreement. He initially wanted 3, I wanted 4, and we were like, okay, we'll go for 3, and if we have a 4th child, then we have a 4th child, but for sure we wanted 3. So it was actually, as you know, I was in school. I was upgrading my diploma, my RPN or LPN diploma, to a degree. So I was in school this past like 5 years because it was a part-time course. You do it part-time while you're working. So it was a part-time course. Everything happened with the pandemic. A lot of things moved around. I had surgery. I had to take a couple semesters off, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff happened. All that information is in other videos, previous videos. Maybe I'll see if I can add the link for that video. up here somewhere, but about what happened and my surgery and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, okay, finally we're in our last year, because we didn't want to try to have another baby before I was done school. Sorry, my face is a little dry. I haven't done my skincare yet. I know I'm rambling right now. I'm so sorry. I haven't done my skincare yet because I need to put the wig on, and because the glue kind of drips sometimes, I don't want to have to put my wig on, the glue will drip, I'm cleaning it, and then I'm wiping off all my skincare. I put my wig on, I make sure it's secure, and when the band is on, I come back and do my skincare. So I'll do my skincare with you guys. So I've tinted the lace. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. I'm gonna grab some Vaseline because my lips is a little dry. So yeah, as I was saying, so I had said that, well, my husband and I, we agreed that when I was done school, then we're gonna try for another child. So that's what we did. So I believe this is ending of 2022 or middle of 2022. Both of our older children, they're both born in May. So yes, we were trying to say, okay, we'll try so that we get pregnant around the same time to have another baby in May, so that all three of them are May babies. And then that's that, you know, we deal with everybody's birthday in 1 month. Boom, that's it. So we're in about August of 2022. We're like, okay, we're gonna try and have another baby, all that jazz. And it just was not happening. And I got to the point where I was crying. I'd be crying. I think it took about, it took about 7 months before we finally got pregnant. I know that that's nothing compared to some people. Some people go years trying, decades trying, and it doesn't happen. So I can honestly say that even though for me, 7 months felt long, it's nothing compared to other people. So please, don't get me wrong. But took us about 7 months to get pregnant. So finally got pregnant, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. We're okay, we're pregnant. But like I said, I finished school in 2023. So we were trying to get pregnant so that as soon as I was done school, then I'm having the baby, but that didn't end up working out that way. But I was in my last September semester. In January of 2023 was my last semester of school, which was my consolidation, or pre-grad consolidation is like the final semester where you're just basically just doing work, going to the hospital. So I was working for free. Basically, I was doing a full rotation with another nurse for free, even though I am a nurse, but because I'm changing from LPN, RPN to RN, I had to do all that stuff. So I was doing my consolidation with this nurse, very nice, and then I find out I'm pregnant close to the end of my consolidation. I think I found out I had about a month left in my consolidation before when I found out I was pregnant. So we were very excited. I tried to do the whole, oh my gosh, so you won't believe what happened. Yeah, it didn't work. Like at that point, we were like, because we were trying and we finally were able to get pregnant, we told family immediately. Everybody knew, all of our family knew. And it being my third pregnancy, and unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunate, but because my body kind of had not snapped back from my second pregnancy with my older son, I started showing a lot sooner. So I had to tell work, because once again, I'm a nurse. I care for patients. A lot of the patients I care for can't do things for themselves. So I'm the one who turning, twisting, lifting, all that kind of stuff. When you're pregnant, you can't do all of that. So I had to let my my unit know, and the charge nurses and my manager know, so that when they do my assignments, they do it accordingly, and it's not super heavy. If you don't understand what that means, heavy is, I work on a medicine floor where it's mainly older people that are on the unit, and unfortunately a lot of the older people, they can't do for themselves, so they can't get out of bed. Unfortunately, we need to help them change because they can't get to the washroom on their own. So turning patients, and trying to get them clean and washing them, all that. It's a lot on your body not being pregnant. Now on top of that, your body is going through everything with pregnancy, the hormone changes, the morning sickness, the constant throwing up, not feeling well, feeling tired, all that kind of stuff. So they have to make your assignment accordingly. So I think by 10 weeks I was starting to show. I had a bit of pouch, and so at that point I was just like, yes guys, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. So they were like, okay, we got to fix your assignment. So finish my consolidation, go back to work. My managers and everybody at work knows, so that things can work smoothly. And I in the very beginning, like first month or so, I was feeling great. I felt so good. I was like, yeah. Then everything started hitting me all at once. I felt sick. The constant nausea. I had constant nausea. I was constantly tired and sleepy. My body just started hurting. Like, I think after I hit about 6 weeks, about 6 to 8 weeks, it was constant nausea, body aches and pains, tiredness. It was like I can't stay awake. I'm so tired. If I was on day shift and I had to sit down to chart, I was like, just nodding off. Like, pregnancy is a roller coaster. 1 second, I'm gonna go and put the wig on and I will be right back. Okay, so we're back. As you can see, wig's on. If you watch Big E Kane, she said ban for an hour. So maybe we might just be able to do ban for an hour today. If you guys want to see how I install my wig, let me know in the comment section down below. I can make a video. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. This is how I do it. I am not the girly, like, hair influencer. This is just how I do it, and this is how it works for me. Okay? Drink some water, some ice cold water. Now that this is on, I'm gonna do my skincare. I'll show y'all what I'm doing as we talk. Okay, so like I was saying, pregnancy was a roller coaster. I'm gonna use these toner pads, the MediHeal Vitamin D Brightening Pad, because you know I wanna help brighten up the hyperpigmentation that I got going on. I like the MediHeal, these ones, because it comes with a cute little tweezer, so you don't get your hands all up in it. So, ooh, you can use it like a mask, but I'm just gonna double tone today because I got quite a bit of what's it called on my face, the glue. So anyways, so like I was saying, pregnancy roller coaster, because girl, I was going through it. So by the time I've hit 3 months, I'm just like exhausted and tired. And we were living in an apartment at that time. And so we were like, girl, like, we need to move. We need to find a place ASAP. Because we can't have 3 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. Apartment. Because our kids were sharing a room for a very long time. And we were like, okay, we need to get them their own rooms. So that's what the next step. So I found out I'm pregnant in March. By April, May, we're like, we need to find somewhere to move. So even before we have found a place to move to, we started packing, because I was like, we need to find a place. So our good friend who's a realtor, shout outs to him, he was helping us to find a place because we needed to move. So this whole time I am going through it, the pregnancy. 1 second, sorry, Osprey was just letting me know that little man was fussing earlier, but he's okay now. Anyway, so he helped us find a place. And then we moved. Oh, I forgot to show you what it is that I'm using. Find a place to move to. We found a place. We moved in July 1st. Also, we were dealing with the fact that we had planned a trip to go to Ghana. Prior to finding out I was pregnant, we were like, oh, we're gonna go to Ghana in the summer because we want to go and visit. I haven't been there in 10 years. My husband's never been to Ghana before. But it was just going to be the two of us, and the kids were going to stay here with grandma and grandpa, which they agreed they were okay with watching the kids for us to be gone for like 2 weeks. So at that point we found out we were pregnant. We got to go to Ghana still. We can't not go. The money has been spent. It's not coming back. So we gotta go. So we went. We also went to Ghana. As much enjoyment as we could have, considering I was pregnant, we had. But that was that. So went to Ghana. We came back. After coming back from Ghana, I started noticing that, like, okay, I'm starting to get tired again, because when we went to Ghana, I was in my second trimester, so I was feeling a little bit better. I had a little bit more energy than first trimester, which I think most women or most people deal with when they're pregnant. Is the first trimester. It is horrible. 1 second. I forgot to show you guys. I'm using this Good Molecules Niacinamide Serum. I forgot to put my toner on after I did my toner pads, but this is the one that I've been using so far. This one, I like them so far. I just need to be more consistent, so it is what it is. Anyways, so I felt good when we were in Ghana. I was, we were out. We were outside. We were chilling. It was all good. Now, we've come back. I've gone back to work, and my coworkers are like, girl, what are you doing here? Like, why haven't you gone on leave already? Because I was huge. Like, I was really, like, my belly was big. If I can find a picture, I will insert in here, like, around that time. So my belly was pretty big, and it was funny because my family was like, we know you're pregnant, but we didn't realize how pregnant you were until now. Like, it's like from like the first trimester to partway of the second trimester, I was still like fairly small. Then all of a sudden when we went to Ghana and came back, like, it was like, wow, this baby grew. So obviously also before we went to Ghana, we had the gender reveal. My niece did our gender reveal for us. Shout out to you, Kat. And then we also went to the Beyonce concert because those tickets were bought before I found out I was pregnant. We were going to go see B-Side, and we enjoyed ourselves too. So I'm sorry, I have these blinds, so I hope it's not distorting me too much. Well, anyways, so we go. That's what I was using just now. That's my moisturizer. It has a little bit of sunscreen, but I am also going to use my Black Girl sunscreen. So now I'm at work. People are like, girl, what's going on with you? Why are you here? Look, are you sure you're not having twins? That's how big my belly was. My doctor told us it's one. It better be one. I can't. But so literally when we came back from Ghana, I think I was able to do 2 or 3 shifts, and then that was it. I was just all of a sudden just in so much pain. Everything hurt. I was just all of a sudden felt so run down and exhausted. And I was like, well, what are we gonna do now? So in that case, I was like, okay, I can't come in. I'm not feeling well. And I already had to go on modified before we went to Ghana. I was on modified duties, so I couldn't actually have certain patients or certain assignment load because it was just too much for my body. And because with my son, my oldest son, we had to deal with a lot of stuff with him. I'm going to try underpainting today, actually. So that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to experiment while we get ready. But with my son, my oldest son, because of everything that had happened when it came to the pregnancy with him, I had, if you guys will remember, once again, I probably have already linked it, or you can find it, but I had a tumor, a brain tumor, when I was pregnant with my oldest son. So with that, I had a lot of issues that I was dealing with. So because of that, I was considered high risk. So now I'm already high risk. I'm a nurse taking care of heavy patients, all that kind of stuff. So I had to get put on modified duties because of that. So when they put me on modified duties, unfortunately, they weren't really sticking to my modifications. So it became a problem where I was like going home and I'm crying and I'm in pain, and my husband's like, what the heck? What's going on? So I think, hold on, let me get my phone. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. I told you I'm underpainting, so my concealer, as I was using the Fenty Beauty, one is 480, that was the first one I put, and then I put the 460 on top, which is the lighter one. And I'm gonna put another light of concealer on if I feel like I need to. So we'll see if I can find it. I thought I had it here. But yeah, so like I was saying, my I was just like not able to get up and go to work because I was in so much pain by the time I come home. So I had to like call off of work a little bit because I was in so much pain. And then the first week of September, which just so happened to be our anniversary weekend, I started having the worst contractions ever. And I was like, it's not contractions. I'm only 20 weeks at this point. I'm like, this is not contractions. I'm okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Just one second. You know what I just realized? I didn't prime. I forgot to prime. I'm just gonna put primer everywhere else. I use the Milk Hydro Grip. I love this one. It actually is very good. Golly, girl, I'm just all over the place right now. Okay, so I didn't prime, and then I didn't put my powder, my setting powder that I normally would put a setting powder that is my skin tone on top to help with oil. But you know what? It's okay. We're going to church. I will maybe another day, if you guys really want me to do to redo this so that I do the right steps, because I completely forgot. Forgot about I use Coffee Pro Filter, and I like normally after I done my skincare, I would prime, then I would put this all over my face, and then I would normally put my foundation, but because I said I'm gonna try underpainting, I don't know what just happened. Ugh. Clearly, I can't talk and do my makeup at the same time. Clearly. Anyways, so at about 20 weeks, I was having contractions. It was bad. So it had happened. We had gone to Costco to go get some stuff for the house, just a regular day. And then while we were at Costco, I was starting to feel some pain. So my husband's like, oh, just use this to wet my concealer brush. This is the new concealer brush that I got from Shein that I showed you guys in the video. So I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. So my husband's like, okay, here, sit in the cart. to use the rolling cart. And I'm like, no, what if somebody else needs it more than me? He goes, baby, you're in pain, sit down. And I was like, all right, fine. So I sit in the cart, and we're going through Costco, whatever. And I was like, yo, I'm just in a lot of pain. And then my sister had called while we were at Costco, and I'm like, I'm in so much pain. And she goes, maybe you should hurry up and just go home and go and rest. And I'm like, yeah, we're in the line to cash out now. So she's like, okay, just keep me posted. Let me know what's going on. I was like, okay, no problem. So we finish, we go home, I go to rest. This is actually like, it was a Thursday night. It was August 31st. August 31st? Yeah, August 31st, sorry. So August 31st. And I'm like, oh, I'm in pain. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm like forcing myself to be okay at this point. And I think my husband had to go do something. He had to go somewhere. He was going somewhere with one of his friends. And I was like, go ahead. I'm fine. Just go. If anything, I will call you. And he's like, no, I don't want to go if you're not feeling fine. I'm like, sir, go. I'm okay. I'm trying to be macho woman here. I'm trying to be superwoman. I'm like, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. You can go. Go with your friends. I will be fine. Go hang out. Because he hasn't gone out and hung out with his friends for a while. So I'm like, go hang out with your friends. Don't worry. If anything happens, I will call you. Love you. Have fun. Bye. So he goes, I'm still having some pain. But I'm like, I'll be fine. I just need to rest. Let me take some Tylenol. Let me rest. I'll be okay. I was not okay. But like I said, I'm trying to be macho woman, superwoman self. And so I did not tell my husband until he got home. And then he's like, how you feeling? Because he was checking up. I'm like, I'm okay. Stop checking on me. I'll call you if anything is up. Stop, go have fun, blah, blah, blah. So now he's like, oh, okay, fine. So finally he comes home. He's like, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'm in a little bit of pain, but it's okay. It's not as bad as before. Because I had started timing. I don't know. Let's trust the process, I guess. So I'm like, okay. I'm okay, but still a little bit of pain, blah, blah, blah. He's like, why didn't you tell me? I would have came, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I know you would have came. I didn't want you to come home. I want you to enjoy yourself, because once this baby comes, that was it. So he's like, okay. He's now, watching over me, all that fun stuff. Sorry. Watching over me, all that fun stuff, like, eyeing me down. Golly, underpainting is wild. Yikes. I look crazy. Oh, I hope this turns out well. I hope this turns out well. I hope it turns out well. You look crazy. Oh, I don't know if I should use this or use an actual beauty blender. You know what? Maybe I'll use a beauty blender. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, like I was saying. So now, I'm sorry, guys. I need to see my face well. So, but y'all can still hear me. Anyways, so, it's like the next day, which is the 1st of September, and I'm like, okay, I'm in too much pain. Because we started counting the contractions, and it was contractions, and it was happening fairly regularly. And so we're like, okay, it's time. I was like, okay, let's call the hospital and just let them know what is happening, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what they say. So we called the hospital. It was like, okay, I'm 20 weeks pregnant. I've been having contractions for like the past 16 to 18 hours. I don't know, what should we do, blah, blah, blah. They're like, girl, come in. I'm like, another problem with being a nurse is that you're like, I'm fine. I'm not going to the hospital until I really need to go to the hospital. Girl, I should have gone earlier. But so I go to the hospital and everything, and they're looking at my previous history. Oh, she's had the surgery to remove a tumor and all this kind of stuff. And girl, why didn't you come earlier? I'm like, I figured, it's not that serious. It's not, I'm not in labor, blah, blah, blah. They're like, anything under a certain amount of time, you should know this, because at this point, it's on my chart that I'm a nurse there at the hospital and what unit I work on. So I'm like, I know. I'm like, I just figured it was going to go away on its own. The pain was going to go away on its own. So now they've hooked me up and everything to the machine. And they're like, oh, you are in labor. You're in early labor. And I was like, oh no. So call family, because we had dropped off the kids at my sister's, and call family and let them know what's happening. And we're like, okay, so this is the situation. They're like, I am in early labor and whatnot. So my husband's like, should I go get the, like, we're not really fully finished prepared for this baby to come. Like, we still have so much stuff to do. We still have to get a few more stuff. We hadn't done, like, the baby shower had to happen still, and we still hadn't finalized the baby's name. And like, I haven't finished doing getting the clothes that I had gotten. I hadn't washed them and folded them, put them away, nothing. Like, I'm just like, I'm still feel extremely unprepared to have this child right now. I'm like, this baby cannot come now. We're not ready. So we go, but it is what it is. If that's what happens, that's what happens. So we get, like I say, we got to the hospital, had to get wheeled in. They hook me up. They're checking everything. They do blood work, urine tests, all that kind of stuff to figure out what could possibly be going on. Sometimes if you're constipated, you can go into early labor, but that was not the situation. Sometimes when you're if you have a UTI, you can go into early labor. That was not the situation. It was just, this boy was trying to come sooner than he was supposed to. So this has blended out pretty nicely. Okay, let's try this. So, so Fenty Beauty, the Eavesdropping color 23, and I'm gonna mix it with the Danessa Myrix Yummy Skin in the color 11, and mix those two together and see how that works. Because this is the color of I've used it before and I like it, so kind of have to scrape it. Anyways, so they keep checking me and everything, checking my service, see what's going on. So they're like, I had started dilating a little bit, but not very much. It was like maybe at the most like 1 centimeter. And so they're like, okay, you are dilating a little bit. Okay, continue hooking me up to the machine just to keep checking baby's heart rate, counting the contractions. They're like, okay, you are having contractions, so we're going to move you from the labor assessment unit and we're gonna send you up to the actual labor and delivery unit. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, just in case, it's just a precaution, doesn't mean that baby is coming, but we got to move you there just in case we have to take baby out. Baby has to come out now. I'm like, all right, cool. But so they moved me. They gave me also some medication to also help to slow down the contraction, to stop the contractions, and also gave me medication that if they had to get him out now, then he would be okay, because his lungs would be underdeveloped if they took him out at 20 weeks. So they had to give me medication to also help with his lungs, so that if he had to come out at that time, then when he would be, his lungs won't have a hard time. He won't have a hard time with his, he wouldn't have so much of a hard time with his breathing. Let me just make that clear. Not that he wouldn't have a hard time completely, but he shouldn't have so much of a hard time. So gave me that medication. I was there at this point. I'm there all day, and I felt so bad because it was also the day of my friend from work, her wedding. I felt terrible. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I'm not gonna even text her to let her know, hey girl, this is what's happening right now, because it's her wedding. It's her wedding day. And I'm not going to go and do that to her. Sorry, I'm mixing it together. So I'm like, I'm not going to freak her out on her wedding day by telling her, hey, so this is what's happening and blah, blah, blah. So another one of our coworkers, friends who was at the wedding, I text her and I was like, hey, so, because she had texted me, she goes, hey, where are you? I didn't see you. And I'm like, yeah, so I got admitted. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I just went into early labor. And we're trying to work on stopping early labor so that the baby does not try to come now. We're not ready. We have a whole second half of this ball game to go through. Hey guys, so this is the first check-in because I was exhausted and I was going through it. So it's about 8:30 p.m. We got here around 7:30 this morning because I was having some contractions. As you know, I'm only 30 weeks and that's stressful. So I was having some contractions, started yesterday afternoon. I was having contractions for like 15 hours at home before I was like, okay, let's go figure out what this is, because baby's not ready to be here, but contracting. So we're here, we're in the hospital. We're hooked up to monitors. Don't worry about that, you don't have to worry. But I've hooked up to monitors and stuff. They're monitoring baby's heart rate. Baby's doing well. I was having some pretty bad contractions, but now they gave me some medication to help slow it down because we're not ready for him. We're not ready. So we're just waiting for the doctor to come by and then we'll go from there. So I'll talk to you guys later. So she's like, oh my gosh, okay. I'm like, just don't let her know that, because I don't want to spoil her day. So I'll talk to her like tomorrow, whatever. So we go in, the doctor has checked me. I'm there. They're like, okay, one of two things can happen. At this point, contractions had now slowed down and it's a lot better. So they're like, we can keep you here, keep you admitted, for another 24 hours if you want. And we have to give you the second dose. It was a steroid, by the way, like a steroid to help with his lungs and also to help with the contractions. So I'm like, okay, either stay here or we can go home, but we have to come back the next day to get the second dose of the steroid. But for now, it looks like everything is slowing down and all that kind of stuff. But since I already had the first dose of the steroids to help with his lungs, you guys might hear him in the background. He wants attention, and my husband's like doing a course, so he's not able to really hold him right now, and so he's not happy. I can hear it in his voice and his cry is, I'm not happy, daddy, carry me. But anyways, so they're like, you're good too, you can go home, but you have to come back the next day so we can, you know, see how things are going. So we're like, my husband's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to go home. I want to go sleep in my bed. Sorry. I'm like, I want to go sleep in my bed. But of course, if anything is happening while we're at home, then we come immediately back to the hospital. Said, okay, no problem. We'll do that if we need to do it. So here we go. So we go home. Obviously, my husband did not sleep because now he's like watching me like a like a hawk. Any little move, any little, are you okay? Do we gotta go? I was like, I'm okay. Went to the back to the hospital the next day to get the second dose of the steroid. Hey guys, so
Hey. So
we're discharged. We're going home. Thank God. Everything's good. They said everything's looking good. Contractions, they were able to stop the contractions. There's no more pain. There's no more discomfort. He's cooperating.
finally.
This morning we did have quite a bit of a decrease in movement from him. He wasn't really moving around, but he started to perk up. It seemed like he was just a little tired from all the excitement for the past, I guess, day and a bit. But he's good. He's still cooking. You know, you gotta stay in there for quite a few more weeks. You're not ready yet. You're not ready, brother. But yeah, so we're going home and gonna go see the babies. And yes, today is also our anniversary. Crazy, right? So yay, everything worked out great. So, and at that point, I was put on bed rest. I was put on bed rest after that because all the walking we do in 12 hours as healthcare workers, the doctor was like, nah, so we're not dealing with you going into early labor. This baby's not ready to come out, and we don't want the baby to come out before he needs to come out. So you're going to be on bed rest, or a modified bed rest. No, I wasn't like in bed all day, every day. I had to get up still, go for walks every so often throughout the day. Because if not, I would go crazy if I had to stay in bed all day for 20 weeks. But my husband, he was amazing because literally, babe, I'm hungry, I got you. Babe, I'm thirsty, I got you. And while he's working, because he was working from home at that time, and so it was just non-stop. He was you know, taking care of me and taking care of the house, well, as he should, because like he lives here and I'm carrying his child, his third child at this point. So but yeah, so I'm like, all right, here's the case, blah 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 blah. I like how he's looking so foul. He's not looking bad. So that's that. We're basically now bed rest. What happens now? I'm like, I miss my peoples. I miss my coworkers. So we had the baby shower. Everything is okay. I get 34 weeks, have the baby shower. We're okay. Things are moving. Still, you know, tired, but didn't go back into preterm labor. At about, we're like, just baby boy, just hold off until 36 weeks. After 36 weeks, if you want to come then, well, cool, right? So 34 weeks baby shower. Every week, it's like, I'm getting more and more tired, and I'm getting heavier and heavier. And I also have diabetes insipidus from when I had my first son. So I'm like, okay, I have to constantly pee, and I'm constantly thirsty. So it's constantly, I drink water, within 10-15 minutes, I gotta pee. I need to drink water again because I'm thirsty, because there's no water. Like, it was a constant battle, especially the last, 6 weeks, right? From 36 weeks, 7, 38, 39, 40. Yeah, from 34 weeks on, actually, from the baby shower on, I was constantly going to the washroom because he was getting heavier, and the DI just was getting worse and worse and worse.
The pressure is getting worse.
So I was like, girl, I'm constantly running to the washroom, because I had to pee. So for the most part, I was very much in my room. If I had to go for a walk, we had to plan it strategically so that it's like, I peed, let's go for the walk. Within halfway on the walk, I can drink water so that by the time we get home, I can go to the washroom. It was that bad. If we had to go on any kind of driving trip that was longer than half an hour, it was a problem. I was constantly needing to go to the washroom. We have a cousin that lives an hour away, okay? We had to stop on our way there. Normally, obviously, I was straight there, no problem. But now, I have to pee before we leave home, and I can't not drink anything. I can't while we're there because I'm thirsty. So halfway there, we got to find a restroom, a rest stop, a restaurant, whatever to stop, go pee. And then now it's on the way there, and then get there, and then I have to pee. Like, it was constant. So I was like, okay, now I'm getting tired. This boy could come now. So we went to my cousin's house for Thanksgiving, and that's how it was. So after Thanksgiving, we were like, if he comes now, we are perfectly fine. He's good. Doctors are happy with everything, happy with his growth and everything. But the thing is, I never had an up-to-date measurement on his size and his weight or anything like that. But they were like, oh, everything's good, heartbeat strong, blah, 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 blah. So I had a C-section with my son, my first son. I had a C-section with him because my daughter, she was vaginal, no issues. But because of the tumor I had, my neurosurgeon didn't want me to push because he was afraid the pressure in my head would go up, burst the brain vessel, blood vessel in my brain. Then that's a whole nother emergency. So at that time, I had to get a C-section. So it was planned. So when we found out we were pregnant this time, I had done my research before we got pregnant to make sure that I could have a TOLAC, which is a trial of labor after cesarean. So being able to try and have the baby vaginally, because that C-section kicked my butt, okay? I was like, I don't want to have another C-section. If I can go through labor and delivery and have a vaginal delivery, please let me do that. Oh, okay. 1 second. Okay. I've tried my best to settle everybody as well as I can, but it's not really working. So, I'm tired. So, like I said, I was hoping for a vaginal birth. So we were like, okay, that's how we were going about it. That's how we were going about this whole pregnancy, was with the doctors and everything. They're like, oh, it shouldn't be a problem because your previous C-section was not due to the pregnancy, but due to your something with you, like your health, because of the whole tumor. So that was the reason why I had to have the C-section. Sorry, I'm looking for which brush I should use. I'm using Toffee Tease, the cream bronzer. Corn type. Pardon? Daddy has it, don't worry. Oh boy. I'm like, guys, I'm recording. Mommy doesn't get time to herself at all. Anyways. Maybe I should change the lights. Okay, it is what it is. Hopefully y'all can see me still. Okay. So like I was saying, I was going through the pregnancy with the doctors, all the doctors okaying us doing a TOLAC. So that's how we were going about it. Of course, at 20 weeks, when little man was, threatening us with a good time of trying to come a little bit early, at that point, the doctor was like, if we have to go in, we have to go in to go get him. And I was like, I really didn't want to have to do it, but okay, it is what it is, So with that being the case, we settled on the fact that, okay, they have to go in at that time. So after that, going to the appointments and all of them, keeping an eye on everything that's been happening and how things were going so far, they were going pretty good. And we weren't too concerned about early labor or anything. So they were like, okay, it looks like this TOLAC is going to work out to the way that you've planned it after all. So We're like, all right, thank God. Let's, continue as planned with everything. So, of course, I'm preparing myself as I'm having a vaginal birth. So, excuse me. So I have gotten, all the stuff that was necessary. I've made padsicles. I got padsicles. My sister traveled. She went to the States while we were pregnant. I asked her to get me some dermaplast because I heard that helps with, the pain that's down there. I got my peri bottle. I've gotten everything, I got a special donut so that I can sit on it while I'm healing, all that kind of stuff. So we're preparing for vaginal birth. So 36 weeks gone by. Okay, little man's not going anywhere. Everybody's like, oh, he hasn't dropped. Your stomach is still so high. He hasn't dropped. I'm like, oh, okay. I know. I don't need you to keep reminding me. Like, I'm going through it. Now, 37 weeks. We're at 37 weeks now. And I'm like, okay. I'm getting tired. And I'm starting to feel some pain. So, contractions. And I was like, okay, they're not close enough together at this point, because when we went at 20 weeks, they were like, if you were at 36, 37 weeks and you were feeling the contractions, then that's fine. If you want to stay home, and, labor at home, that's okay. But anything out before that, girl, you come to the hospital. So now we're 37 weeks and I'm feeling some pain, and, we're timing and we're like, okay, it looks like it's contractions. It would come in and go. It would come in and go. It would come in and go. And it was like going on for like 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. Is this boy coming or he's still chilling for a little bit longer? So at every doctor's appointment that we're going, they're like, okay, you're doing good. Heart rate is good. Nothing's going on, whatever. And then I had to ask the question. I was like, oh, wait. So I almost forgot. Because I had a previous C-section and we're doing a TOLAC this time, wouldn't it be a good idea to induce me before my actual due date? Sorry. Wouldn't it be a good idea to induce me before my actual due date? Because, just to avoid any issues, because once again, I've had a C-section, And then the doctor was like, yes, it would be a good idea for us to induce you, but we're going to wait till about 39 weeks and we see what is happening then, because we don't want to try and induce you and he's not ready at all. So we're like, all right, cool. So now we're at 38 weeks. Go for the check. And so the doctor was like, all right, do you want me to do a membrane sweep? If you have had kids and you've had kids vaginally, you will understand what a membrane sweep is. For the ones that don't know, it's basically the doctor, when she's checking you, he or she, let me be clear, but my doctor was a she. So when she's checking you, they will put like a finger or two inside and they will try to remove the amniotic sac from, try to move it around so that it will induce the labor, will induce the hormones to start giving contractions. So we did that. But before we even did that, actually, let me rewind a little bit, girl, because a lot of things happened. I think I was at 37 weeks and I was having contractions. Like I said, I did end up having to go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. They checked me. They put me on the monitor. They're like, you are in labor, but this baby is, your cervix is high. So give it time. It's going to happen. When he drops, then you'll be okay. But as of right now, he is high. And I was like, is he in the down position? Just to make sure, because if he is breached, then that would definitely mean C-section. And I'm so far along in the pregnancy where we can't expect him to try and turn on his own if he was feet down, because when I went at 20 weeks, he was feet down. So we wanted to make sure he was actually head down. And that if not, that means we might have to prepare for a C-section. So they did that. They did the ultrasound and they were like, oh no, he's head down. So he's in the position, blah, blah, blah. But your cervix is very high. He hasn't dropped. Give it time. He will drop, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool. No problem. That was at 37 weeks. So at 38 weeks, let the doctor know this would happen. I had to go to the hospital. My OB, no, I was saying, that I have to go to the hospital. This is what happened. Here's the situation. What do I do? Like, what are we going to do? She's like, okay, you know, when the time comes, if we have to induce you, we'll induce you. But as of right now, if he's high, he's high. There's nothing we can do. We shouldn't try to, you know, force it. So I was like, okay. This is the deep dark color from One Size, you know, Patrick Star. Okay. I use that for my under eye girlies. Anyways, so they're like, just, you know, we'll keep monitoring. We'll see you next week, blah, blah, blah. That's like at 38 weeks. 38 weeks, I'm still feeling these contractions. I'm timing them. These contractions are getting heavy and fast, but there's no bloody show. There's no water breakage, no nothing. So there's only so much we can do in this at this point, because like if nothing's happening, there's nothing they can really do unless they go in, and I'm like, I want to try and have a vaginal birth again this time. So now I go to my 39-week appointment, the beginning of the week, 39 weeks. So it was a Monday. I go in on the Monday. I'm like, okay, we're at 39 weeks. What about this whole, you know, maybe having to induce? And she's like, okay, I'm going to do another membrane sweep. After we do that membrane sweep, hopefully that will kickstart things. But if it doesn't, I'm going to book you to go in and get induced on either the Sunday or the Monday, the following Sunday or Monday, which would put me at 39 and 6 or 40 weeks, depending on the day. So I was like, at this point, this 30 and a half, 39 weeks you guys are talking about didn't come to pass. Okay, but you know what? Whatever. So that was the Monday. I'm at the point that I'm so heavily pregnant, I cannot come up the stairs to come to bed because getting into bed is painful. It hurts. I was like, I'm sleeping in the couch. So my husband's like, I'm sleeping in the other couch with you because I'm not leaving you in the couch by the time. I'm like, no, just go sleep upstairs. Let me be. Obviously, I have to get up to go pee, and so I have to go upstairs. But I said, it's okay. I'll be fine. Just let me be, okay? So now I'm in the couch. I'm sleeping in the couch because I cannot climb the stairs. I can't get into, like, I can't climb into bed. At that point, I couldn't climb into bed. It was so painful. So 39, I think 39 and 4. I'm like, these contractions are kicking my butt. But they said that they would call me to come and get induced. They said they would call me, so I'm fine. It is what it is. 1 second. Okay, sorry, I have to grab some wipes because I got to clean up. I like to clean up as I go. Anyways, so I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. It's getting, you know, I'm getting tired, but you know what? It is what it is. They'll call me. We can make it. We can make it. We can make it. Because I also can tell that he has not dropped. And so it's like, at this point, there's only so much they can do. So now we are at 39 and 5, which was the Saturday. It's 39 and 5 on the Saturday. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm tired. My husband, I'm so sorry, babe. I'm like, it is what it is. Whatever. So try my best just to, you know, go through the motions because we're in our home stretch now. We're in the home stretch. So we've gone through this. We can do it. I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. 39 and 6 the next day. Boy, I was in pains. I was in pains. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm waiting for the hospital to call me to tell me, oh, come in today to be induced. Didn't hear from the hospital. I said, oh my goodness. I was like, okay, it's morning. We still got time. Because they had told me that if by the Monday at like 4 o'clock, I have not heard from them, I should call them. And it's not Monday, it's Sunday. And I'm like, okay, I'm in pain, but okay, you know what? Maybe they'll still call. I got to about 4 o'clock on the Sunday, and I was like, no, I can't do this. We got to call them now. So called them and we're like, hey, so this is my name. The doctor said it was a possibility of me getting induced today or tomorrow, but I'm in a lot of pain. They were like, well, we had you on the list for tomorrow. We were going to call you to let you know, but if you were in that much pain, then just come in. So now it's go time. We're going in, drop the kids off at my sister's. We grab the go bags, which is my hospital bag, and little man's diaper bag and everything. Ooh, sorry. And his hospital bag. So we're like, all right, this might be it. It might be time now. So go get in, get hooked up, and they're like, oh, you are in labor. So I said, oh, we thank the Lord. They're like, yeah, you're in labor, girl. You're not going anywhere anymore until this baby comes. I'm here until this baby comes now. So they're like, okay, we're going to hook you up and we'll go from there. You know, labor assessment, they're just so I'm not admitted just yet, but I am in labor. They hooked me up. They're like, yep, active labor. Here, the contractions are, you know, contracting. At this point, I have been in labor for like 2 weeks and nothing was happening. Whereas with my daughter, when I was having contractions, I was in labor. That was it. Went to the hospital one time, boom, she was here. With my son, my oldest son, because we were having a scheduled C-section, I was not supposed to go into labor. I was also going into labor with him. But at that point, I didn't know I was in labor because it did not feel like I was in labor. It just felt like he was moving. Like I was like, oh, he's just moving. My labor with him, totally different from my oldest and my youngest. So, oh, I didn't put liquid blush. It's okay. So now I'm in labor. They're like, oh, you were in active labor. They're hooking up, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to check me. They're like, your cervix is too high. I'm like, what do you mean my cervix is too high? They're like, your cervix is too high. The baby's not dropped. I'm like, so what does that mean? They can't even check my cervix to see how far dilated I am because my cervix is too high. So every time they are trying, it hurts. And I'm like, they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying. I know you're in pain. I'm so sorry. I'm like, just do your job. Just do whatever you got to do. It's okay. Just do it. Is he okay? Blah, blah, blah. So, I even forgot. So after I used toffee teas on where I contoured, I used chocolate for where I highlighted. I just used Mocha Mommy to go on top of where I put chocolate. Okay, sorry guys, I ran out of space on my phone, so I had to upload everything onto my laptop, and now we're back at it. Anyways, like I was saying, I used chocolate, the cream bronzer first, and then I used Mocha Mommy, which is the regular bronzer after, for everywhere where I highlighted. And then I used the Toffee Teas, which is the cream bronzer, and then thick mint on top of that. So that's what I just did. And then obviously I put the cream on, and then I put my one size setting powder under my eye, my forehead, everywhere that I highlighted, and then I cleaned it up so I won't look too ghostly when it's all said and done. So I'm putting those back in the drawer because I'm done with them. Anyways, where did I even leave off? I went into labor. I was in labor. I was at the hospital. They hooked me up and everything. Yes, so I was hooked up. They're ready to, you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit of cream blush on top of this. So I'm using the Rare Beauty Faith. Oh no, how did that happen? Anyways, so I'm hooked up. Basically, I'm talking to my sisters. They're trying to make me laugh because I'm in pain and all that kind of stuff. I'm hooked up. They've checked my cervix too high. You can't really, check how far dilated you are. the doctor comes and she checks. She tries to check. She's like, yep, your cervix is still very high, but we can see that you are in active labor. We see the contractions, but baby's heart rate keeps going way too high. I don't like how it looks. So what do you want us to do? We can, if you really want to try the Tolac, we can wait and we can go with that. But if not, we can get things together so that you can have a C-section. I don't mind too much waiting, but there's only a certain amount of time that we are willing to wait before we're like, okay, nothing is really moving, you know, he's not dropping. So therefore, we got to get going. We got to go and get the baby out. And I said, if he's not dropping, you guys can't check my cervix. It's not working. They've done the ultrasound. They see like how, obviously, if you look at a pregnant lady, I don't know how to describe it, but if you're the baby's supposed to be coming straight down into the birth canal. My son was off to the side. He was like to the left. And so that's why he was still so high up, is because he wasn't even close to the birth canal when they did the ultrasound this time. And they were like, oh, he's not there, but we can just hope that during labor, he will actively just move on his own. And if he moves on his own, then, you know, we go from that. So what do you want to do? I said, I just want my baby to be here, healthy, happy, no issues. So if you guys got to go in and get him, it's fine by me. I've done a C-section before. That's nothing. I can do it. Let's just get him out. If this is a possibility of waiting just to have a vaginal birth can cause some issues we do not want, get him out now. It's okay. So because now at this point it's considered an emergency C-section because heart rate keeps going up. He's not really moving. I'm in active labor. Things are not moving as well. And I've had a previous C-section. All of that can compound and just switch real quick. So we said, we're not gonna deal with that. So let's just get him out. So at this point, have to do all the paperwork that says we are going to have a C-section. We consent to it. Now we got to the hospital like 5:45. At this point, we've done the waiting. It took about an hour of actually monitoring the labor before the final decision that came that said, okay, you know, we're going to actually have to just, go in and get him. I just realized I didn't actually do my bronzing contour yet. So we're going to do that now. My contour bronzing. What? You know what I mean. Anyways, so we go to get ready. When's the last time I ate? I ate like maybe 2 hours ago. Ooh, okay. So we're gonna have to just wait a little bit because we don't want you to get sick and like throw up because that's obviously a risk. And that happened with my son, even though that was a planned C-section and I had not eaten. I was NPO from midnight. I had not eaten. After I have this boy, I was throwing up like crazy with my oldest son. So now this is a risk that can happen with my youngest because now I have to, it's emergent at this point. So I was like, it is what it is. Okay, let's hurry up. Let's get it together. I need to get my lippy. Hold on. Okay, got my lippy. Got my tank top on. So let's continue. We're almost at the home stretch now, girlies. So, give the doctor the okay. We're like, okay, we're gonna have to just have this C-section. We get all this blood work done. Basically rushing to get to the point where we can have him now, like get him here. Ooh, that band for an hour. Okay, so obviously I didn't get to cover the lace up with makeup. So that's what I'm doing now. I think that's a little too, yeah, we're not using that color because it looks like it's way too, that's, no. Oh no. Oh no, honey. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Anyways, so now we're in a rush to get things done so we can have them, because the doctor that was on duty, she's done, and so another doctor is coming on. So we gotta make sure that everything is in order and in place for that doctor. So we have started, we've done the paperwork, like I said, we've done blood work, and so now they've moved me to the labor and delivery unit. They're trying to get an IV in me. It was a struggle to get an IV in when you're pregnant. Apparently it can be difficult to start IVs. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't remember from my 2 previous pregnancies or births. I can't remember if that was true with me then, but now they were like, they were having a bit of a hard time, so the anesthesiologist had to come and put in my IV. I'm gonna turn so I can face this mirror that's closer to me. So the anesthesiologist had to come in, put in my IV because my nurse was having a hard time putting in an IV, and then the charge nurse was having a hard time, so they had to get the anesthesiologist to come and do it. And of course, as I'm going through, because we're like, okay, now we're for sure here to give birth, we're going to be delivering little men today, got to give all the documentation necessary. So our insurance, we have to give our insurance. So because I'm the patient, I was to give my insurance first. And so I give my insurance, and then now again, everybody, because I don't like to say that I'm a nurse when I'm being treated, because I don't want you to feel nervous or anything like that. So when I had gone in for labor and assessment, and they were like, oh, okay, we need your health insurance information. I give them my health insurance information, and then they're like, oh, are you a nurse? I'm like, yes. They're like, where do you work? Where do you work? I'm like, I work here. They're like, oh, really? So now it becomes a whole thing. So now literally, as every unit that I move to, now everybody knows I'm a nurse. So, she's one of ours. So I leave the labor assessment unit. I go to labor and delivery. They are putting in my IV, and they're like, now they're all asking me, hey, so where do you work? Where do you work? And I'm like, okay, I work on a medicine unit. They're like, yeah, leave that medicine. You should come here. So labor and delivery is talking about, which, by the way, I actually want to move to labor and delivery, but it's just so funny how as like throughout this whole thing, everybody's trying to offer me jobs. So I go to labor and delivery. The charge nurse that's there and the anesthesiologist that works with that's there goes, oh no, you're gonna come here after your mat leave is done. I was like, okay. I'm here trying to psych myself up because I'm going into labor. Y'all talking about, oh, I'm gonna come and work there. Like, girl, that's not where my mind is at all. I'm thinking about get my baby out real safe, okay? So I go to, like I said, labor and delivery. We set up everything. We were trying to do the baby mama dance, baby mama, that song. Girl, it wouldn't. I think we got a little bit of a clip. Maybe if it's still there, I'll see if I can include it. Like, all I got of my actual birth was a little clip of me and my husband and the nurse talking about what does NPO mean? Because I was like, oh, I need to drink some water. I'm so thirsty. And she was like, you can't drink any more water now. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. It's okay. I know I'm NPO. It's all right, blah, blah, blah. My husband's like, NPO? What the heck is that? So I'll see if I can find that and I'll insert it. But yeah, so finally they get the IV in, and then it was like, all right, you're going in. So shortly after that, it's like bam, 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 bam. Like everything just kind of went crazy. It was just so crazy fast. So I think it sounds like a long amount of time, but from when I got to the hospital to when my son was born, maybe 3.5, 4 hours. It went just like that. That's one thing if you're having a vaginal birth or natural birth, you want to call it. And so you're doing, you're in labor and then labor progresses quickly and then you have the baby. It's different when you have to have, all of a sudden, you're supposed to have a vaginal birth and changes and now you're having a C-section, right? So bang, 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 back to back to back, get into labor and delivery, go into the OR, have the C-section. Oh, when I tell you while they had given me the medication, because obviously you get a spinal when you go for a C-section, I was tired. Actually, they missed my my spinal twice. Obviously, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but when I say they missed it, as in when he did it the first time, the anesthesiologist, when he put it in the first time and he was like, okay, how does it feel? Do you feel the tingling, the numbness? And I'm like, I only feel it on one side. And they're like, okay, let's try it again. I only feel it on one side still. Okay, let's try it again. And then finally it's gone all the way through. Ooh, I burnt myself. Not almost, girl. I burnt my finger. Now it has gone through. Now I'm officially numb, so they can cut me. But at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to feel anything. Because now I had forgotten. When they say, oh, you forget about the pain of childbirth after the baby is born, I actually forgot how painful or how everything would feel again after having a C-section again. So I'm like, I can't remember. What am I supposed to feel when you guys cut? Like with everything, they're like, oh, you're gonna feel the pressure, but you should not feel any pain. I was like, all right, cool. So yeah, I'm feeling the tugging and the pulling and everything, but obviously I'm not feeling the pain. I'm so sorry if you have not had a child yet. You have not had a child yet, or you're pregnant and you have to have a C-section. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just letting you know what my experience was, okay? So now, oh my gosh, not me struggling to curl my hair. Goodness. So now I'm lying down. My husband's, called to come in. He can come in now. And so they're about to start. And I'm just like, I'm just tired. I just about fell asleep at that point. My husband's getting scared. He's like, babe, wake up, wake up, wake up. I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to sleep. Finally, they get him out. This boy, we thank God that he did not come out the natural way, is all I must say. Because let me confirm. Let me actually confirm. He was 10 pounds, 12 ounces. Yeah. So when the doctor took him out, she looked over the clock, because when you have a C-section, they obviously cover you from about your chest down, so that anything, you don't have to worry about seeing anything. And so from chest down, let me see, so I'm not seeing anything. 12 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 ounces. So she looks over and she's like, oh, you would not have been able to have him naturally. I said, what? She lifts him over. He is a big boy. Big boy. We're like, wow. So then everybody's like, oh, guess how much do you think he weighs? How much do you think he weighs? I was like, Micah was 8 pounds. So maybe 9. My husband's like, yeah, maybe 9 pounds. I think he said 9 pounds, 10 ounces, something. They were like 10 pounds, 12 ounces. We were like, ooh. No wonder he was saving me by saying, nah, y'all just come and get me. Because, whew, I know some women have had vaginal births with bigger babies. Kudos to you. because I was going through it and I didn't even have a vaginal birth. Now imagine you having a vaginal birth. Oof, kudos to you. So now he's out, everything is good, blah, blah, blah. But because he's a big baby, they have to check his blood sugar. Because they're like, it's kind of not that it's not normal or it's abnormal, but if you have a bigger baby, then sometimes their blood sugar might be too low. And so that's what ended up happening. So, well, the first time when they first checked it, I was like, okay, his blood sugar is good. So we're like, okay, cool. Now we're off from labor and delivery, recovery. We're going to our room on the mother baby unit. So I'm gone. We get pushed over to my mother baby. We're okay. Everything seems to be cool. We're chilling. We're like, all right, we're probably gonna have to be here for 2 days because that's normally what it is for a C-section, 2 days. And then, oh my goodness, 2 days, and then home we go. So, and that was Sunday. So Sunday night, 10/14, November 5th, our little man was born. And so we're, everything's going well so far. I'm itching. If you've had a C-section, you know that itch I'm talking about. That the medication coming out of your system, the spinal coming out of your system, oh, it is itchy. And it's like, there's nothing you can do. They give you Benadryl, but it's like, it's not helping. I'm just so itchy. So, but whatever, we're okay. I'm like, I can deal with the itch. Little man is here. Everybody's okay. We're all happy. We're all healthy. This boy said, psych. So because, like I said, he's a bigger baby, they have to check his blood sugar regularly. So they did a check. Blood sugar was a little low. So it was like, oh boy, okay. We just got to keep monitoring. If it's too low, then they had to give him medication, which orally, to help boost the blood sugar to come back up. So they would give it to him, and then they have to check again to see if it's gone up. So it was bouncing about, but for the most part, he was staying up with the blood sugar. Then in the daytime, we noticed that his breathing was a little shaky. He would be like he wasn't taking full proper breaths, and his respirations were way too fast. And so the nurse was like, okay, we're gonna have to give him some oxygen. I was like, oh my gosh, my baby. What do you mean? I was like, okay, we're okay. Give him oxygen, whatever. They had to call the doctor down to come and check on him because they're like, we've been having to give him a little bit of oxygen. We notice his respirations are a little bit, shallow and rapid. Like it's not full deep breaths. It's more. So he's not taking full breaths in, and it's going quickly. So we're like, okay, we're okay. But it was not. It was a lot. So blood sugar it's wonky. His breathing is now an issue. And his respirations are an issue. So they had to take him up to the NICU. Apparently big babies, that tends to happen to. He's now having to be forced to be used to my body being outside of my body, which obviously all children obviously when you give birth, that's the case. But apparently with bigger babies, it's harder for them. It can be harder for them. So now I'm dealing with, okay, now my baby has to go to the NICU. So that was on the Monday. He goes up to the NICU, and then technically we were going to be discharged Tuesday evening. But they asked me if I wanted to be discharged or stay at least one more day because that was on the Tuesday. So we're going up and down. So I'm getting wheeled. My husband's pushing me in the wheelchair upstairs to go to the NICU to go and spend the day with him because I'm not going to stay in the room without him. And I can't actually sleep in the NICU because I just had a C-section, and So I've had major surgery. I can't sleep in a chair in the NICU. So I have to, you know, come down, and my milk has not come in. So I'm not really able to breastfeed him yet. So we're giving him they're giving him formula when he's in the NICU. And every time I go, I try to latch him. And so his blood sugar had dropped to the point where they had to put an IV in him. So he was hooked up to an IV to get fluids with enough, I believe it was dextrose, which is a type of sugar, into his system, and constantly checking his blood sugar, and then keeping him, have him on a little bit of oxygen just to keep his respirations going. So he's hooked up to monitors. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is... But I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to be, you know, my husband was freaking out. Babe, you know it's true. You were freaking out. And I was trying my best. I was like, you know, this is, if anything was to happen, it was better for us to be in the hospital and deal with it now than us take him home. So I'm trying to like hype myself up. But inside, when I tell you I was weeping, I was so sad. I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, did I do something during the pregnancy that I shouldn't have done? Was I working too hard, and did I not stop soon enough? Was it because of, you know, going into the early labor, all that kind of stuff? Like, so many thoughts were going through my head. But it was like, sorry, I'm just checking the time because we got to leave soon. We got to leave in like half an hour. And I'm almost done. I'm almost dressed, halfway dressed, face is done, almost done my hair, just a couple more curls, and the story is almost done. So, yeah, so he's hooked up to all these IVs and all that kind of stuff, and they're regularly taking blood work for him just to make sure everything is going okay. Girl, why is it now that his bilirubin is too high? So he has jaundice on top of that. So now he has jaundice. His respiration, his breathing is a little erratic, and his blood sugar is too low. It was a triple whammy all at once. Girl, every time I had to leave the hospital, because when like I said, got discharged on the Wednesday, I would cry. I was crying to myself. My husband didn't know I was crying. I was crying. I'd go like, oh, I'm going to the washroom. I'm crying. Talk to my family. They're like, oh, he's gonna be okay. I'm like, yeah, no, he's fine. And then hang up. I was crying. Like, I was so sad. And then every so often, we're just going back and forth. I'm in pain, having to go up and down stairs. I'm in pain, having to get in and out of the car to go to the hospital, to go sit with him in the NICU, because I'm trying to latch him. I'm trying to pump and take the what has come out, like the milk that has come out, but still my milk hasn't come in fully. But I'm trying to pump to get my body to start going, because when you have a C-section, it's a little bit harder to breastfeed, because your body, it's kind of like you force the baby to come out, right? So now I'm like, goodness, trying to pump, my body's not working, my body's not cooperating. I'm like here thinking I'm doing everything wrong. I'm crying, I'm in pain, my baby's in the NICU, all this kind of stuff. Then finally his bilirubin starts coming down, so the jaundice is clearing, because they had to put him on phototherapy, which or light therapy, and have him covered, his eyes covered, and just him in a diaper, and lights just on him to help force the bilirubin out, force the bilirubin out through his poop. And so every time I go there, like, try and breastfeed him, because that's the best thing for him, to try and get everything out. So though we have to formula feed him, because obviously my breast milk is not coming out properly, but we're still trying to get him to latch so that it will help speed things along. It was a long week. Finally, on the Friday, we get the call that his bilirubin is good, his blood sugar is good, his respirations are good. Everything has cleared. All the blood work is good. We can come and take our baby home. Hey, when they called me, the way I just about jumped out of bed, because I was obviously tired from trying to go to the hospital every few hours to go be with him. Because like I said, I could not stay. Like, I couldn't. My body was just too tired. I need to heal. So when I could stay home, I would stay home, and my husband would go. If like I couldn't go, he would go. But of course, I try my best to go But the thing is also, because of the fact that he was getting the light therapy, we can't hold him too much. There's not a lot of skin to skin that I can do because he needs to be under the lights so that he can get the bilirubin out of his system. Oh, finally, when they told me my baby boy can come home now, oh, the way we were so excited, the way we were so happy, was able to get his finally he can wear his going home outfit from the hospital, which thank goodness I went and I changed it, because initially I bought newborn size. This boy does not fit a newborn ever. Newborn nothing. Newborn diaper, newborn clothes, anything that was newborn that he had did not fit. Newborn diaper, he was wearing size 1 diaper in the NICU. So all the nurses are like, he's the big NICU baby. So he's a big NICU baby. Like, they're like, he's one of the biggest babies that we've taken care of, because most NICU babies are either preemies or something happened, but 9 times out of 10 they're preemies. So they're all, whereas he's not a preemie, he's full term 39 and 6, but he's big and he's having a hard time with the breathing and all that kind of stuff. So, but oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for all the nurses that took care of us. Like, every single one of them, all of them, like I said, they were so lovely. All of them were like, oh, come and work with us, come and work with us. I said, girl, let me enjoy my baby first. Let me just enjoy my baby, okay? We'll talk about me coming to work with you guys in 18 months. Because for now, we're not worrying about that one. So sorry, I just want to make sure that this is flat. But yeah, oh, it was a lot, but we finally were able to come home. We also went, obviously we had to still do another checkup after he had come home, so that we had to go to the hospital after the day after he got home, so the Saturday, because we had to go do some more blood work just to make sure that his bilirubin was still trending down. Because when we first found out he had jaundice, the bilirubin was trending up, and then it came down, and then it went back up, and then it came down, and it stayed coming down consistently for a little while before they were like, oh, okay, he's doing well, you guys can come and get him, you guys can go home. I'm using the Makeup Forever lip pencil in dimensional dark brown. When I say this is a fire brown lip liner, I like this one. You actually can see it. So yeah. So now we're finally home. We went, did our next blood work the next day. We had to stay there and wait for the blood work to be done. This is Always On? No, that's not. This is Smashbox lipstick, liquid lipstick. I can't remember the color for the life of me right now, but I love this one because it's a nice brown liquid lipstick. Nice nude color, whatever. And then, so yeah, we waited for the results. The results come back. They are still trending down. He's doing good. This boy, he scared me. He scared me. I'm also including the MAC Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color. This is the color Date Maker. I'm putting it in the middle. Give it a little ombre effect or whatever. And then my sister got me this. It's a Maybelline Lifter Gloss. What color is this? This is gold. Obviously, I can't put this on by itself. It has to be on top. And there we have it. So, little man did a lot. He scared us. He really and truly scared us. He he truly scared me. We were terrified. We're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? But everything, by the grace of God, everything worked out. Once again, like I say, I thank all the nurses for everything they did, for all the doctors for being there, helping us, like, you know, everything. Because when I tell you I was terrified, but finally being able to bring him home, when we finally brought him home, the way that I was like, I cannot sleep. I was wide awake because I need to make sure, how's his breathing? How is he okay? This boy, he's 4 months now, almost 5 months. He'll be 5 months next week. He's already turning from his back to the stomach. That's a 6-month-old. That's 6-month-old Wick. He's been holding his head up since like he was 2 weeks old. Like he's been doing things that were like, huh? He currently wears 6-month-old clothes. Like I told you, he's never worn newborn anything. So from when he was born, he was wearing 0 to 3 months. Even that was tight, so I had to jump him to 3 months. Right now, he's wearing 6 months clothes, and he's 4 months. He's a big boy. But yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna finish this up, and I'm gonna get dressed, and I will be right back. Okay, so hair's done, guys. Makeup is done. Let me do my final setting because I didn't do it. I forgot to tell you, the reason why I didn't do eyebrows is because I tinted my eyebrows yesterday. And I did my extensions, my cluster lashes. I did it yesterday. So we're basically done. That's what happened. Baby boy is here. He's doing well, growing strong. And I'm just so thankful that everything that we went through, we're all good. So thank you again for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.